Hi, friends. Happy Friday. How are you? I hope you're having a great day. Listen, I was actually sitting at the house that I grew up in, watching my kids and my sister's kids over here, and I just got to thinking, and I'm feeling kind of vulnerable. I guess it's probably because of this space, and I have so much history here, and I just wanted to share this thought with you. And it was, growing up, I had the best life. I really did. I have the most incredible family. My parents are amazing. And I was a very angry and rebellious teenager for really no reason. And I think I was just sitting here and I was thinking about why did I go through those 10 years that were they were tough. They were tough for my family. They were tough for me. And I just remember being a teenager and being in my early 20s and just being so angry. I was so angry at everybody. Everything wasn't fair. Everyone else was dumb. I knew everything. And obviously nothing was my fault. And I just remember that anger and that when I get out of this town, I'm going to do this. And when I get, over here, I'm going to do that. And you know what I learned though? So I moved across the country, right? I was trying to run away from this town and this place and these people. And you know what I learned? I wasn't trying to run away from any of that. I was trying to run away from myself. And that's a real tough position to be in because guess what? I moved all the way down to South Carolina and then to Florida. And guess who was still there? Me. So around the age of 25 is when my life started to change. I know people that know me now probably can't believe that I was like angry and rebellious. People that knew me in the past know that for a fact. And, my life started to change and it's been a very long, painful process. But my life started to change when I started to look in the mirror and started getting mad and angry at the person that I saw. When I started looking at the mirror and instead of blaming everybody else and everything and the weather and the people and the processes and the teachers and the courses and the government and everything else outside of myself, when I flipped it and I started looking in the mirror, that's when my life started to change. And I'll tell you what, I remember that day clear as it was a decade ago, and I remember the feeling of, for the first time, looking at myself and saying like, all right, sister, we got some stuff to change. And y'all, I've been obsessed for the last decade of being better just for myself. You know what I mean? And I can tell you now, after 10 years of being on this personal growth journey, I thought it was all garbage in the beginning. I was like, this stuff is ridiculous. These people don't know what they're talking about. But I kept showing up for myself. I thought something's got to change though, because, the alcohol wasn't doing it anymore. I'll just tell you that right now, like the partying and the alcohol and being angry, that wasn't doing it for me anymore. And I wasn't getting anywhere. And so I just kept showing up for myself. And I still do that today. Some days I'm like, dang, this stuff is hard and it's stupid. People still make fun of me. I still sometimes look in the mirror and don't like what I see. But those days are very, very, very small compared to what it was. When people throw mud at me now, I'm strong enough to say, you know what? That's fine. You must be having a bad day because I know who I am. And what you're saying about me is not true, And what I've learned is that people that are afraid to look in the mirror like to throw blame. And it's not their fault. They're just scared to look in the mirror. And so what I've learned to do is give them grace and love and wish them the best, because there's going to be a day when they're going to have to look in the mirror. And it's, it's not pretty. The longer you go without looking in the mirror, I feel like the harder it becomes to say, you know what, my life is my responsibility. It's not what happens to me, it's how I react. And that is 100% my responsibility. And so for me, it's just been an incredible journey. And I'm just sitting here thinking about, 20 years ago when I was growing up in this beautiful house, how angry I was and how much of my life I wasted blaming other people. And I think I'm so blessed to have found a culture that didn't let me stay there. You know what I mean? They called me on my BS and they were like, Shanna, you need to pick up the mirror. And you know what is really funny is my mentor, my very first mentor, he's still my mentor today. he said some stuff that was really hard truths for me to hear as a 25-year-old that knew everything. And I got mad at him for a very long time, but I never stopped. Like I said, I just never stopped showing up. I've messed up so many times, and man, I've gotten it wrong so many times, but I never stopped showing up. And so I'm encouraging you guys, if you don't like your life, if you find yourself blaming, hating other people, like, there's no reason why you should hate somebody else. Like, literally, that to me is just like drinking poison and like asking for trouble in your life. So like, if you find yourself blaming or hating or thinking other people have the problems, it might be you. You might have to pick up a mirror and you might have to look in it, and it's not going to be fun. But I can tell you, on being on the other side, or being a person who wakes up every day and chooses to look in the mirror and say, Shanna, you're going to step in the arena today and you're going to be your authentic self, and you're not going to care what anybody else says that's not in there with you fighting. It doesn't matter what they say or what they do or what happens. You are going to show up for yourself, sister. Being a person who does that every single day, I can tell you that it's not easy, but it's totally worth it. It totally is worth it for your own peace and for the people that depend on you to be the very best version of yourself. I think my kids are back there. They might be back there playing. And I just think, for them, I can show up for myself because I want to be the best version for them. I can tell them my parents told me all the time. They raised me right, and they told me all the time things, but until I watch them do it, you know this, if you have kids, your kids definitely do not listen. They do not listen. They watch what you do, and they will do what you do. And so if you can't do it for yourself, do it for your dang kids. You know what I mean? If you can't do it for your kids, find something outside of yourself, something bigger to just be better. It's totally worth it. Or not. Some people never do it. That's fine too. But anyway, it was just on my heart to share, and I was like, man, you know what? I'm going to share this because I'm feeling kind of vulnerable just being in this place, and I don't know if a lot of people have known that about my past and where I've been and where the kind of hole that I had dug myself in. And really, it was just because I wasn't ready to look in the mirror. I wasn't ready to hear a message. And here's the thing too, if you're not ready to hear a message, you can't hear it no matter what. So until you take a step forward and say, I'm ready, and I want to look in the mirror, and I want to challenge myself, and I want to change, and I want different results, it's not going to change. And so for me, it took me 10 years. I was 10 years of really angry and that's my daughter. I was just really angry, and it was hard for a lot of people that loved me and a lot of people that poured time and effort and stuff into me. And as part of my mission and my journey now, I love to help other people, go on this journey and come out the other end. So God bless you guys. I hope that maybe shines some light in there, that really it's up to you. Like, if it's going to be, it's up to me, but it's up to you, right? If you don't like your life, it is 100% up to you to change it, and you can do it. Anybody can do it. It just takes a lot of work and effort and consistency and discipline day after day. God bless you guys. Have a good weekend. Bye.